I'm remaking this because I left out some important information and I wanted to be fair to this lady right here. So, this is to address an issue that's irking me. There's been a lot of videos similar to this woman's video coming across my YouTube feed recently. This is the face of, oh, let's see if it'll come up right here on the far left. This is the face of her video, and you can see here there are a lot of them. There are a lot of videos out there right now with people talking about how Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights is supposed to be either black or a person of color, and that Hollywood is whitewashing all these roles. And yeah, I will say there is some whitewashing going on, but not with Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights. And I will circle back around to the important information about this woman. So what she's saying is that, yeah, basically Heathcliff is described. Here's a bit of an excerpt from Wuthering Heights. And I will read it right now. But Mr. Heathcliff forms a singular contrast to his abode and style of living. He is a dark-skinned gypsy in aspect, in dress and manners, a gentleman. So the key word here is gypsy. I apologize. I know some people might be offended by that, but it's kind of a key piece of evidence for the argument I'm making here, and it's in the literature. So gypsy is a slur for the Romani people. Okay? The Romani people are an Indo-Aryan ethnic group. They come from northern India and Europe. They migrated to Europe. So there's kind of they're a mix of Indian and likely European Caucasian. Indo-Aryans are considered to be Caucasian. So, to be fair, here's the important part that I left out. This woman never specifically said he was supposed to be black. But I've heard other people say that. Or that he was supposed to be a man of color. That Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights was supposed to be a man of color. She didn't specifically say that. And also, she did mention Romani. But the overall implication here is that he was supposed to, that she's giving off is that he's supposed to be a man of color. Just because it says dark-skinned. Right there. The Romani people, let's see. Images. Here's what the Romani people look like. So yes, they would have been considered darker skinned compared to the people who were living in northern England in the late 18th and early 19th century. For sure. But they are still considered to be Caucasian. At least that's their most recent racial classification as far as I've seen. If they're Indo-Aryan, and Indo-Aryan is considered to be Caucasian, Aryan and Caucasian implies white. Here, let me show you guys something. Here are some famous Romani people. Famous Romani men. Here we go. These are all famous Romani football or soccer players. They all look pretty freaking white to me. They look like they have a bit of a tan. Yes, they have dark hair, dark eyes, which is a typical Romani feature. They look very Mediterranean usually. It's olive, tan skin, dark hair, dark eyes. But still, they look very white. Right here. Did you guys know that Charlie Chaplin had Romani roots? He looks pretty freaking white to me. Did you know that Rita Hayworth had Romani roots? She looks pretty freaking white to me. She's very light-skinned. Okay? I think it's pronounced Una Chaplin. She was in Game of Thrones. She played Robb Stark's wife. She looks pretty freaking white to me. She's also Romani, considered to be of Romani roots. Or Romani. I don't know what's the better pronunciation. Romani. Nomi Rapace, I think it is. She played a lot of roles. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, so on and so forth. Also, Romani roots. She was born in, I think she's considered Swedish. She was born in Sweden, but Romani roots. This one, I think she was born in Spain, but Romani roots. There was another one. Fairuza Balk. From The Craft. From Return to Oz. From a lot of movies, all right? Romani roots. Born in America, but Romani. Okay? These people look really freaking white, don't they? Super freaking white. Dark hair, dark eyes. Again, here's more people. Oh, of course, a bunch of them are blacked out. There we go. There's one guy. Like, you can't see a bunch of the pictures. They're not showing up. Whatever. But, you see? This guy looks really freaking white to me. Romani. So, Heathcliff, I'm sorry, dudes, was not a man of color. Dark-skinned was considered... So, consider the context of Northern England. Let's see. Late 18th century Northern England portrait. I'll bet you anything's going to be a fish belly pale white people. White dude and white women. Look. Yeah, compared to this porcelain skin, right? Compared to these really super fish belly pale white people. This was considered to be the ideal back then. All right? They wanted you to be really pale with blonde hair, blue eyes, and if you weren't that, you were considered dark-skinned. So compared to these people, right? Compared to, let's just look at modern day Northern England people. Really, really, really white. Really white. But also pretty white. Pretty white. Like a tinge darker. Like she's got a tan. All right? A tinge darker. Like she's got a tan. Sort of Mediterranean type features. An olive tan skin. Dark hair, dark eyes. But still very white. And again, let me just go back to the Romani people. Just in general, here we go. Like, I'm sorry, but these are not people of color. She looks like she could be a little bit. These two look super white here. And you guys are ranting and raving that Heathcliff is supposed to be a guy of color. Like, no, I'm sorry. Like, maybe, at most, he should have had, like, a little bit more of a tan for his role. But, come on, guys. It's more appropriate. Like, I would venture to say this is more appropriate than this version of Heathcliff, who's black. Because there's a version of Wuthering Heights with a black Heathcliff. I'm sorry, but the black and Romani, they're not the same thing. just because someone was considered dark skinned back in the late 18th, early 19th century does not make them black. More likely it just means, oh, everybody back then was Whitey McWhiterson, like super white back in that day and age in that area of the world. And if you were even a shade tawny, like, they considered you dark. And also, again, I want to look at, so back then, late 18th century, early 19th century, the total population of England was around 9 million. Of that population, there were only between like 10 and 20,000 black people. It's a very small portion of the population. And again, look up the facts on this. Most of them were slaves. And most of them were concentrated in the major cities. Okay, they were not up. So that means most of them were not up in northern England. And now I know Heathcliff was said to have been found in Liverpool, but still, I don't know. I've also heard the theory that he was the illegitimate child of Catherine's father. That's not. I don't think that is confirmed in the book, but a lot of people have pointed out little things here and there to suggest that he was actually the illegitimate child of Catherine's father, something along those lines. As for the Romani people, there were probably at least double to triple the numbers of black people, or double to triple the numbers of Romani people than there were black people. Yeah, the Romani people, I believe, came into England first in like the 15th century, something like that. They'd already been around for a few centuries in that country. So, yeah, it's harder to come up with those figures because they travel around a lot. They move around a lot. But yeah, again, so I just wanted to be fair, though. This lady specifically did not ever technically say that Heathcliff was supposed to be black, and she did in fact mention the Romani people. But the overall vibe of the argument she's giving is that Heathcliff was supposed to be a man of color and not white. That's really what it is. It's like she was saying he's not supposed to be white and that the role was being whitewashed. Dude, Romani people come pretty freaking white, dude. They just... And technically, again, they're Indo-Aryan, and Indo-Aryan is considered to be Caucasian, which is white. Literally, I believe Aryan, well, I won't get into it, but yeah, a lot of people associate the word Aryan with white. It doesn't necessarily mean that, but yeah, I'm sorry, dudes. This is just insane that this conversation is even happening, that they're all like, everybody's up in arms that Heathcliff is a white guy in the most recent version of Wuthering Heights. And it's like, again, that makes more sense than a black guy. Or any man of like of color. Dark-skinned, yeah, probably tawny. Probably olive-skinned, tan. So, yeah, I just wanted to readdress the issue and make sure that I got important facts in there. I'm trying to be fair to people. This guy, again, and I don't even I haven't even seen the movie. I don't care to see the movie. I don't even particularly think that he's a good actor. Like, I might hate it based on just like the acting, but I wouldn't hate it based on the color of his skin. By the way, let's also, If you want to talk about misappropriating races to roles, what about, who was it? Queen, what's her face? Black Queen of England. Right, Queen Charlotte, who was recently portrayed by a girl who looks like she's black. She looks black to me. And she really was not in real life. Not at all. And this is not a fictional. Heathcliff is a fictional character. All we have to go off of to know like what he looked like is a few basic descriptions in a novel. All right? We know for sure that Queen Charlotte was not black. She wasn't. She just wasn't. Now, and I don't care though, is the thing, is like, so long as it's done well, if the acting's good. I haven't even seen any full episodes or anything like that of this, but I've seen clips here and there, and like, I like the acting. I like how it's being portrayed. Who gives a shit? So, unless you guys are willing to dump, hey, lady, unless you're willing to dump all over stuff like this, like turning a historically Caucasian white queen into a black woman, then don't dump all over them turning Heathcliff into just a slightly paler white guy. Because he was white. He's Caucasian. He was just Romany, which is a slightly darker shade of Caucasian, guys. All right. I'll leave it there. Freaking nonsense.